Hello, welcome to this little quiet corner of my house, which is not always the easiest thing to achieve because of two of my three cats, because they are very lively boys. Anyway, we better make the most of this time that we do have before they start to meow, slash fight, slash knock things down. So the reason that I have made this video for you is because I want to share something with you. I have recently trained with the sound therapy company to be a sound bath practitioner. I'm also currently doing a meditation teacher training course, which I'm really enjoying too. So there's a lot of work involved, but it's work that I'm really enjoying doing. And I just wanted to share a bit of this with you. So first of all, I know that for a long time, a lot of people have said to me that they quite like to listen to my voice, which sounds a really bizarre thing to say about yourself, but it is something that people have said, and they've used the letters ASMR, which stand for Autonomic Sensory Meridian Response. Now, what does that mean? It means that with certain stimuli, such as sounds, it could be sound of someone's voice, it can even be crisp packets rustling, it could be, there's videos on YouTube all over the place for all sorts of different things, even the sounds of people eating, which isn't my idea of fun to listen to, but for some, they really enjoy that. And the feeling that it can, the response that it can elicit can be sort of a tingling feeling, or it can be just a very peaceful, calm feeling. And sound therapy can elicit all sorts of responses. Sometimes it can be the release of tension. It can be just that sense of calm, I think, for me, is the one that I really like. I like relaxing sessions. And the way that I got into sound was actually through attending a session that a musician was facilitating, and he had us all sat in a circle, and there were all different instruments laid out, and we were invited to go and sit down in front of an instrument and just start to play about with it, which I think is wonderful, because we do lose that sense of play as we get older. I think just life is just so busy and it requires us to be adult, and when we're adulting, I think that we forget how joyous it can be to just play. So music can be very lovely. Even if you're not musical, you do not have to be musical to enjoy sounds. In fact, sound therapy isn't really about music per se. It's more about creating certain tones, creating a certain feeling. Now, this is the instrument that I sat in front of on that very first session. Well, this isn't the exact instrument, but it's the one that I bought, having been so impressed with it. And it was very interesting that we all, as we were sat around in the group, we didn't know each other, we were all feeling a bit self-conscious, but as we experimented and allowed ourselves to play a little bit and became braver, we noticed this wonderful feeling of togetherness as we all started to become harmonious with one another. It was really, really beautiful. So I went back several times. I loved it. And I remember asking what this beautiful, angelic sounding instrument was. Because it's such a gorgeous sound. And I was expecting it to have some kind of heavenly name. Table tubes. Table tubes. It's like, okay, yes, you can lay them flat on a table and they're tubes. But if this was in crystal, there is an instrument known as the crystal harp. Now, in my household, that would be broken on day one, I'm quite sure, with cats. But this is the table tubes. But the sound to this, I just wanted to share it with you. I hope you didn't hear my tummy, because that was going at the same time. Oops. That was me hitting it with the wooden bit. Didn't mean to do that. Just really beautiful sounds. I'm also playing it back to front. I'd normally have this on a table. So that's the table tubes. So I'll just set those to one side. I like the way the noise changes as they're moved. My lovely table tubes can sit there. So I suppose this video is more of an introduction to some of the things that I've got, but I'd also love to know if you would like a sound session, because I'd love to conduct a sound session for you. Next we have the crystal bowls. These are 99.9% quartz crystal, and they give off a lovely sound. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, there's my stomach again. I really hope you didn't hear my stomach. You never know. There's probably people on YouTube who make videos of their stomach growling, because there's a market for everything. So, you can hear how they've got a very long sustain. And it's one thing to be watching a video like this and hearing it through whatever device you're hearing this through, and it's quite another to be present, to actually be close. Now I'm trying to use a really good microphone so that you can get almost as good as you would have in real life in terms of sound. But when you've got your eyes closed, when you're lying down, receiving a sound bath. So the reason why they call it sound bath, it's got nothing to do with water. It's just a way for you to be bathed in sound. I know it might sound very self-explanatory, but yeah, I know that some people do wonder, does it involve water? What is it? What is a sound bath? And they're becoming more and more popular now. And I think that's because you're creating a sound landscape, a soundscape. And when you turn off some of your other senses and you just tune in by listening, you'd be amazed at how much calmer you can feel. Some of the sounds can elicit different responses. So for example, if I were to be using a gong, some of those sounds can be quite a build-up, of tension to release again. When you think about how sound is used in films and suspense, you'd have a specific kind of sound to build suspense. Perhaps if there was a sort of otherworldly sound, if there's something to do with aliens, you know, there's different sounds create a different response within us. Okay, so that's the crystal bowls. It's beautiful. So what you would be doing within the sound bath is I would talk you through a relaxation process, then you'd be lying down, and then the sounds would begin, and there would be a different sound journey every single time. So those are crystal bowls. These are Himalayan singing bowls, also known as Tibetan singing bowls or just singing bowls. Now that to me does have a kind of otherworldly quality to it. My stomach is really rumbling. Some people like whispering as an ASMR trigger. But I'm just doing it so you can hear the bowl. I'm just offering it to my microphone a little closer. And these have been used for thousands of years. Not so much, the crystal bowls sort of came to popularity, I think it was in about the 1980s. But this type of bowl has been around now for thousands and thousands of years. And they can sound different if you strike them or, well, on the course that I went on, it was known as you ding or sing them. So ding. So lovely. You can almost hear different notes. It sort of allows you to bring your focus into one space and time, just this moment. And that's essentially what mindfulness is. So that was a ding. Now here's a sing. And this was the first Himalayan bowl that I bought. I just fell in love with it. It's really quite something when you hear the sound kind of reverberate as well. It's like it goes away and it comes back. Oh, there's something pretty cool you can do with these as well. I think this one will do it for me. Is when you ding and then you just open your mouth, and I won't be making any vocal noise, but just going, you'll see. Hang on. It's kind of fun to do. I do love that deep resonant tone. And I'll just do, I've got 4 in total, so I'll just let them sing together. Beautiful sound, isn't it? Well, I think it is. And just as that sound starts to die down, I have some different drums. Now, this drum, actually, I'm going to need to get my little fluffy mallets. Excuse me, turning my back to you. So these are my fluffy headed mallets. And this is my little bit heavy tongue drum. You don't play it with your tongue. It's known as a tongue drum because it has these cutouts that look a bit like a tongue, and it's made of steel. And as you strike, I hope it's going to work on my lap. I should have given myself a little more room. Maybe I'll pop it here. I'm wearing a dress where it's okay for me to sort of go a little straddle either side of the drum. Now, when I strike this, I was playing this at work the other day when it had arrived. It arrived at work, and I was playing it in the presenter lounge, and a couple of our directors and producer came along, and they were saying, "Oh my gosh, what is that?" So you ready? So I'll hit the middle one first, which is more of a deep sound. And it's like the sound is travelling around this UFO-shaped drum. It's just so lovely. And then... And I think this ties into the sense of playfulness. And so this, I think I would use not at the very start of a session. I think I'd like to build a session up and then add in this, which I would call quite a bright, quite a lively sort of sound. So once again, I'm just sort of sharing with you some of my instruments, but in an actual session with your eyes closed, you almost forget what the instruments are. It was absolutely fascinating on my training course because I knew what all the instruments were because we'd all been using them together. But when each of us would deliver a sound bath to the other students, we would be lying down with our eyes closed, receiving the sound bath. And I honestly, I forgot what instruments they were, and I was thinking, wow, what's making that noise? It's so beautiful. So yes, that's the tongue drum. Lovely, really lovely. And what else can I tell you about? I have got, this is a shaker. And this can be used to kind of, towards the end of the session, just to kind of break things back up again. It's almost like, to me, I like to think of it as sort of a refreshing shower. So you've kind of had the relaxing, calm bath, and then this is a way of kind of bringing yourself back to being in the present moment. I like the way the sound changes as you close your fingers and open them. So that's just another instrument that I have, and maybe I'll just finish by showing, how long have I been talking to you? 16 minutes already. These chimes, I might just have to show you all of them. These are called Koshi chimes, and they've all been made, they're handmade in France at the foothills of the Pyrenees, and they are all tuned so they have specific notes, and there's 4 of them, and this one is air, because there's the different elements. There's earth, air, fire and water. So this one is air. And it's interesting, really interesting to notice how they make you feel. And once again, it will be very different depending on what you're listening through, as opposed to actually, say, if you were here sat with me now. Now these ones are the fire. I think there's something really magical about them. And when you've got your eyes closed and you've relaxed into a certain state where you're not having to engage all the senses that we so often have to, because in our everyday lives we're often engaging lots of different senses at once, or repeatedly or in turn with each other. Everything is just so fast. When you're just engaging, hearing that sense of sound, it really does something rather wonderful. So that one was fire. This one, I think, is water. Yes, they have a little dot. They say Koshi because that's the brand, and in the middle of the O is a colour denoting which element they are. So air is yellow, fire was red, this is water. And chimes have been used by civilizations for, again, thousands and thousands of years. And they originated in the Far and Middle East. And you'll find them often in the sort of is it the eaves? No, I can't think of the word, just the part just under the roof that meets the building. And you'll find them in those sorts of spaces at the entrances to temples and lots of buildings, actually, even government buildings and things like that, because they're so revered and have a lot of significance. Now this one is green, and this is the earth chime. So when you've got your eyes closed, I feel as though it sounds like someone is playing something like a xylophone. Just really peaceful. It's a nice way of doing the exact opposite of what we're all doing most of the time. Slowing down, disengaging a lot of the senses, and just utilising that sense of hearing and just sensing. It's really quite lovely. So I would love to facilitate some sound baths for you. I'd love to know what you think of this video, because I'm really putting this out there. I mean, I know it's a bit different, but it's just something that I'm really passionate about, and I just wanted to share it with you. So I hope that you've enjoyed it, and there'll be more instruments to share with you as well as time goes on. But for now, I'll just say thanks for watching, thanks for being interested. Take good care. Bye for now.